Wonderful. So I'd like to share a story from this book now. This is a story of a man named Michael Perez, and he was visiting Glasgow, Scotland. And just like many cities of comparable size, Glasgow has its more and less desirable parts of town. And he was about to find this out. So he decided, rather than take a taxi back to his bed and breakfast, that he would just walk the several blocks. And so he walked the several blocks and then accidentally walked a few blocks too far. And the street became less well lit, and he found himself in a construction site where the sidewalk was blocked off from the street. And out of the shadows of this construction site stepped 6 young men. And they had, if you've seen the movie A Clockwork Orange, they had that kind of delinquent expression. And the leader stepped forward and said, "I'll have your wallet." Now, there are a number of different ways that Michael could have responded. And a couple that came to his mind in thinking about it later. Michael's a pretty big, strong guy, so he could have grabbed the guy by the wrist and twirled him around, knocking all his friends over. Or he could have used a subtler approach, some martial arts tomfoolery, to disabuse them of this particular notion of how to have a good time. But instead, something of the mock-friendly tone in this young man caught Michael's attention. "I'll have your wallet." "You have my wallet?" Michael said. It was only a small misinterpretation of his words, and it came out of Michael's mouth without thinking. "That's wonderful! How did you know that it was my wallet? Did you recognize me from my ID card, or did you see me drop it when I passed here by last?" Immediately he went into a tirade, overloading this young man with information. "I was so worried, I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't have any cash in my wallet, but there was my plane flight home, and I didn't know how I was going to pay for my hotel." As he barraged the young man with this information, he shook his hand in thanks. And this would serve 2 purposes. One, it would help to startle him out of his previous pattern of intent, but also it would serve Michael in good stead if the young man didn't respond in the way that Michael hoped. The young man stuttered, I don't have your wallet?" "You don't have my wallet," Michael said. "Well, then why did you tell me you had my wallet?" And then he went into a whole tirade about being completely screwed, not knowing what to do. He really let that forlorn emotion register not only in his voice, but also on his face. "Did you lose it around here?" the young man asked. Michael nodded, and for the next 15 minutes, the 6 young men helped him look. So, searching the crannies and shadows of the construction site. Finally, when they had searched an appropriate length of time, Michael decided there was no use, it was lost. And he invited them up off their knees and shook their hands, each individually, thanking them for being such kind citizens and helping him look, sending them on their way, still looking more than a bit confused. So, who knows what will happen, but Michael hopes that the next time those individuals try to have a little fun by robbing some pocket money, that they might find it a little bit more difficult to objectify somebody. Or perhaps not. Who knows what will happen. But Michael hopes that there was some benefit in that interaction, not just for himself in keeping his wallet, but also for the 6 young men.